Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up that screen. All right, Tyree Weathersby has committed. Defensive lineman. That's an area where UT really needs to add some depth and improve this year and next year and so on and so forth. It says Tennessee added some help on the defensive line on Friday, earning a commitment from three-star defensive lineman Tyree. Now, he's a high three-star. The 6'4", 251-pound prospect committed to Tennessee coming off an official visit. And here he is on Twitter saying committed. And defensive linemen are at a premium, let me assure you. He's ranked the 530th player in the class and the 64th rated defensive lineman. He's had offers from Boston College, Georgia Tech, Kentucky, Indiana, Michigan State, Missouri, Mississippi State, and so on and so forth. So he's had a lot of big offers. Said he fits as a strong side defensive end in Tennessee's base scheme. He's the third defensive lineman commit, joining edge rushers Caleb Herring, who's a four-star, and Nathan Robinson. And currently, Tennessee ranks 12th in the country with their recruiting. And the reason this is so important for Tennessee, they've got to build up that defensive line, because if they don't put pressure on the quarterback, it's going to be a long season after long season, and that's just the way it's going to be. They've got to put pressure, because remember, with the offense that we have, while it is super exciting and I freaking love it, it's my favorite offense that I've ever seen, and it's so entertaining. They're on and off the field quickly. Even when they score, it's like a minute or two. So you not only have to have big, strong defensive linemen, but you got to have a bunch of them, because you got to have a big rotation going in and out of there all the time, because they're going to get winded, because they're going to play a lot of minutes. They're going to play a lot of plays. And realize Tennessee's going to have a lot more plays than other teams. So here's the one thing. When you're recruiting on the defensive side, you can say, look, you're going to get to play, because we have a lot of plays where the defense is on the field. So you might as well come to Tennessee, because you're going to get to play. And in this very article, it names where Josh Heupel names the main area where the Tennessee Vols must improve. It talks about how Tennessee left a couple of wins on the table due to a couple of issues that Heupel identified and vowed to fix. And they mainly had trouble on third and long situations because they weren't able to pressure the quarterback. And he says, we were not good on third down, particularly third and long, said Heupel recently in an interview with ESPN. We've got to get better in that, and that starts with getting a pass rush. I feel like the guys that have come back have made some strides. It was a big emphasis in spring ball. We've got to be better knowing our pressure packages and keeping quarterbacks inside the pocket and not letting them out. We got hurt with that multiple times last season. We've added some guys that give us a chance to be a little bit different off the edges. He says Heupel's not trying to sugarcoat anything. He knows that Tennessee could have been better in certain situations. And he spent the offseason along with the coaching staff figuring out how to get better in those areas. So at least he's not sitting here totally focused on offense, which is great. You know, that's been the huge plus of Tennessee, but the defense has got to get better. We've got to get the offense back on the field as much as possible. And one thing Tennessee's not doing, they're not using the Lane Kiffin style of defense, which was somewhat effective for him. And that's called the fainting goats defense. And that's where you just basically fall down and act like you've passed out, even though you're perfectly fine. And Lane says it's not cheating if they can't prove it. And of course, Lane, you know, he's not going to be obvious about it.
Very even-keeled and very tough as a runner. You're seeing that here in the fourth quarter as Tennessee drives down the field.
Yeah, that poor guy was suddenly in agony. And then the one that fell down right in front of Lane Kiffin, it must have been terrible. You know, thank goodness Lane was there to explain that he was hurt, because that guy didn't realize how badly hurt he was until he got within shouting distance of him. He realized, oh my gosh, I've got a terrible injury in my leg. Just boom, it happened. Oh no. Now he was able to play the next play perfectly fine, 100%, but there was about 30 seconds there where he just was immobilized. It was terrible. So again, remember, it's not cheating if they can't prove it. Look at that shit-eating grin right there. Oh yeah.
This sucks.
Yeah, it really sucks.
All right, folks, and that's my show today. Tyree Weathersby commits. I think that's a nice pickup for the Vols on the defensive side. And hopefully they can develop him into a quality defensive lineman for somebody that can rotate in and out of there. And we're going to need that with our offense. And when you play defense in the SEC, you better be big up front. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover UT sports. This is my first few videos covering the Vols, so if you wouldn't mind subscribing, I'd appreciate it. I don't have very many subscribers. And I hope you did like the content, and we'll see you next time.